Freddy vs. Jason.
Hello everybody, welcome to another Horror Franchise Wednesday. Today we are looking at Freddy vs. Jason, which came out in 2003 and was directed by Ronnie Yu, the director of Bride of Chucky. And this movie tells a story about Freddy and Jason going at it for the big brawl. Who's going to take the killer's trophy? The best killer of all, my bet is on Jason. And I was right. Spoiler alert, I'm going to go through all the spoilers. This is going to be like a discussion. I'm not really giving you all the pros and cons. I will, as I go along, tell you little things that I like, did not like. This movie is a love letter. This movie was written by a couple of guys who studied all the films. You can tell this was written by fans of the franchise because they got everything down. Like, they kind of like retcon everything. Like, it doesn't like show like how Freddy's back, but they do explain. They say something that explains how he came back in every other previous film. So I can ignore the dog piss now. It explains that Freddy comes back through fear. So as long as somebody's afraid of him, whether he's dead or not, he just comes back. So that makes more sense than a dog pissing on him. It's like, really? Dog piss? Yeah, that pissed me off. Pissed me off, literally. No, I didn't get pissed on. Whatever. Alright, so this movie opens with like Freddy, and he's making his glove again, and he gets killed. We actually get to see him getting torched by the parents. And then we get this awesome montage of everything he's done in all 7, 8 films. I think it's 7, 6, and then New Nightmare. Hey, I'm losing count now. There's a lot of them. And then we also get to see Jason. We get to see what Jason's dreaming about. Freddy infiltrates his dream to basically resurrect him. And what does Jason dream about? He dreams about killing people. Makes perfect sense. I love that. I love that Jason, when he's dead, he's still killing people, no matter what. But what I don't like is that they show his heart beating. It's like, so he's alive, he's human. And like then later on I'll get to it. But I don't like that. It's like he's a zombie. Jason's a zombie. So why does he have a heart beating? And it's like so visible in his cage, like the rib cage. And then throughout the rest of the movie, he has like a full chest with like a shirt and everything. I don't know, whatever. Does he get dressed when he leaves the grave? I don't know. I like to think that this movie is like a sequel to Part 4, Jason. And I view this more as a Freddy movie than Jason. That's why I'm reviewing this movie for my Freddy franchise. When I go through the Jason movies, I'm not going to go and revisit this one. Because this is more of a Freddy movie, in my opinion. Like, the whole plot, it's mainly just Freddy and what he needs. And he's the orchestrator. He's the man, you know, pulling the levers. He's the one, like, he's the brains. Like, he calls Jason his errand boy. So basically, yeah, Jason's just his little bitch. But Jason fights back. And I like that. Yeah, we get to see what he dreams about, killing teens. And we get the mother of Jason. They have like that part 2 aspect thrown in here where he'll listen to Mother. And she's telling him to go back to Elm Street to kill these kids that are being naughty. Even though they're not on his turf. But he listens to Mother. Because Mother, he has to listen to her. Yeah, it's weird. But then it turns out that Freddy, he's like, I've been away for far too long. And then we get the awesome heavy metal soundtrack in this movie. Great soundtrack. Love the score in this movie. Definitely a positive right there. Freddy's look, I liked it growing up. Now it's just kind of like, when you compare it to like the first one, and the second and third, it's kind of rubbery. It looks kind of weird. And his suit, like it's not red and green no more. It's like red and navy blue. So they kind of changed his outfit a little bit. And yeah, so yeah, Freddy is basically... He needs Jason to get resurrected. So, well, not resurrected. He's back. But he needs Jason to spread fear by killing people so that he can officially start killing again in people's dreams. So, that's the plot of the movie. And that is just like the perfect sense. It makes the most sense. Like, you have no idea. Like, dozens of scripts were made for this movie for like 2 decades. Like, since the mid to late 80s, people have been shouting for a movie like this. All the fans. And they hinted at it at the end of Jason Goes to Hell, which came out like, what, 91, 92, somewhere around there. And then we didn't get the actual movie until 2003, so 10, 11 years people were waiting. I would be pissed if I was socially aware about this fucking project back then. I would have been pissed off. But, yeah, thank God I wasn't a part of that. Our main protagonist, her name's Lori. I think that's a little nod to Halloween. If it's not, then I guess it was just on accident. But the main protagonist, she's okay. Her acting's not all that great. But it's better than Jason Ritter. He is terrible. Like, he just looks like he's reading a script the whole time. She's like, This is ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. Your dad's name's on both of these shit. I just fucking hate every line he drops. He's just terrible. It's just stupid. Yeah, you dropped a lot of fear at school today with your nonsense. Just want to punch him in the face. Just, oh. Jason gets to Springwood pretty quick. Like, Freddy's Dead establishes that Springwood is in, like, in Ohio, even though I think that's bullshit. I think Springwood is in California, like the first six movies, five movies established, and now it's in Ohio. I don't know where Crystal Lake is, but I think one movie established that Crystal Lake was like in the Virginia area, like Virginia, West Virginia, maybe New Jersey. I think it was New Jersey. So how did Jason get from New Jersey or Virginia, whichever one you want to choose, all the way to Ohio within just a couple hours of being resurrected? Like, how much time did we miss out on that we didn't get to see? So, something to think about. Because then at the end of the movie, you have to think about it. Because at the end of the movie, they transport Jason to back to his home. So they go from Springwood, Ohio, make believe. I don't think there is a Springwood, Ohio. I live here. That's where I'm from. I'm from Springwood, Ohio. Did you know that? But then they drive all the way to New Jersey in the course of like a couple hours, maybe an hour. So, where is it? How far are they driving? Stupid. No, it's not stupid. It's just something to think about. Like, I overthink things because I want to believe in this world that they're creating, so I have to logically wrap my mind around stuff. Well, in order for this world to work, this needs to be... Yeah, I hate thinking too much about it, but I have to. Alright, that's what I do. We get the dick boyfriend at the beginning of the movie. He's got the best death. He gets folded in half. If Freddy killed him, he probably would have said something like, "Babe, you know I could only sleep like this." You know, just... Because he kept saying that throughout the whole, like, beginning of the movie. "Babe, you know I don't like this. Babe, you know I don't like it when you touch me after we have sex. Babe, you know..." So you want him to die.
Whoa, babe. Tell you about kissing me after you smoked, huh? Babe, you make me ask you twice, okay?
Babe, you know I don't like to be touched after, okay?
It's awesome death. And he fucking deserves that. I like how he's like hold on to the beer can still when he's dying. Just won't let go of it. He's like, "I'm gonna have this beer, goddammit. Before I die, I'm keeping this beer in my hand." But I do have a question. It's like, why does, like, Jason's supposed to kill everybody on Elm Street, but instead of doing what Jason probably should have done in this movie, which is go house to house and just murder every teen that night, he walks in the house, kills Trent, and then we don't see him again until, like, the cornfield. Or Blake's house, whatever. So it's just like, why did he leave? Why did he ignore that whole house full of people? Teens. He just kills Trent and leaves. It just makes no sense logically when you think about it. When you actually sit down and just when you think about it, it makes no sense. So I guess you're just not supposed to think. We get our first dream sequence from the main cast, the one with the eyeless girl. The girl has no eyes. CGI. There's CGI in this movie. It's pretty dated. You got that CGI centipede, Freddy centipede later in the movie. It's very noticeable. It almost takes you right out of the moment. It's that terrible. And we get the Nancy house. The Nancy house is back when Laurie's having that dream. You see the Nancy house. I think the door is red again. Or it might be blue. I think it's red. So yeah, we get the Nancy house back. That's a character. And we get the girls jump roping, all these little nods. Like I said, this movie was written by true fans of both franchises. And I think they just melted these two franchises together perfectly. Like, story-wise, it just made sense. Like, you couldn't ask for a better script. You could ask for better characters. But the script, the story, perfect. I like how Blake, the other douchebag who gets killed off quickly, thank God, he uses his dad's head as a shield before he dies. Instead of just running away. Just like, no! Holds his dad's head up. It's pretty funny. A negative with this movie that a lot of people have is the portrayal of Jason. I understand, but it's like, I think Ken Kersinger, the guy who plays him, who was Kane Hodder's stunt double in Jason Takes Manhattan, and one of the cannibals in Wrong Turn 2, I think he just took, like, the idea that he's like, okay, well, I'm coming out of the grave, I'm a zombie. So he just does this zombie walk the whole time. All his skin is black, like he's been charcoaled and like burned alive, even though in the last movie technically, what was it, Jason X? I don't know. So I don't know what movie came before this in the continuity wise, like what story are we going from? That's why I like to think it's just part 4 Jason and now this, because he comes out of the grave, blah blah blah. But why is he all black and burnt? And he has like hair, even though he didn't in part 4. I don't know. Continuities, they don't give a shit in the Friday franchise. They just don't. I like how the news channel that they're watching in Springwood has the initials, like the acronym is KRGR for Kruger. Just a little wink. There's like a few moments in this movie where there's like a sign, just, you don't notice it, but it's right there and it's a joke. It's like a joke that's just sitting there, but you don't really realize it. Like when the guy's like rubbing his ass up against the window making monkey noises. The guy's desk has a sign that says, please be quiet. And then later on, when Kia, she's terrible. Terrible actress. Kia, the one with the red hair, she's asking this nurse for help, like suggestions, like, do you know they use like anesthetics when they do they put you under when you get a nose job? And there's a sign right in front of the nurse that says, sorry, the nurse can't help you. Just little jokes, just little tiny jokes that you don't even realize. Just little things that are just sitting right there. It's like, yeah, the nurse can't help you, and she doesn't. This movie brings back Hypnocell from the 3rd movie. They apply it to the plot of this movie. That's why all these kids haven't been dreaming. Because they got all these kids who knew Freddy when they're like 13, 14. They threw him in this, basically a jail or a sanitarium. And they just lock them away. They can't send letters out. They can't reach out to society. They're gone. And they are all taking Hypnocell. And basically the townspeople are feeding their children Hypnocell without them knowing about it. That's why they're not dreaming as well. And they're trying to suppress the idea of Freddy. But it's, again, great addition to the plot. Makes perfect sense. Even though I don't think something like that would exist. A pill that makes you not dream. I don't think that's real. Because I was told if you don't dream, you go crazy. Like, we all need to dream. It's just part of it. It's part of life. You can't control it. Robert Shea, once again, makes a cameo in a Freddy movie. He is the principal. He doesn't have any lines. Thank God. He's not that good. He just kind of walks in, like, what's going on? He doesn't say anything, but he's the principal. He has to be somebody in every movie, just like he was like that gay bartender in the second one. He's in every fucking Freddy movie. You know, it's a real shame, too, because Kane Hodder was supposed to be in this movie, but New Line Cinema and Ronnie Yu, they wanted somebody taller. That was the thing. They was like, we need somebody taller than Freddy, way taller. Like, Kane Hodder's like 6'4", right? I think 3 or 4, give or take. And Ken Kersinger is like 6'8" or 7. It's like, it's just a couple inches. Like, really, was it that important? Kane Hodder, 4 movies in a row, and they cut his streak short because they wanted somebody taller. I mean, if Kane was in this movie, it probably would have been the same, just a little bit more breathing, because that's what Kane does. He just breathes. One of the better scenes in this movie, besides the 3rd act, is the cornfield scene. But there's just a couple of things about it that I wish they would change. Like, for instance, when you got the 2 out there to drink an Everclear, like, man, this Everclear is kicking my ass. Great line in this movie. There's a lot of great lines in this movie that crack me up. Like, dude, that goalie was pissed about something. I love that. But you can clearly see the rave going on like 15 feet behind him. And then when like he puts Jason on fire, he like runs for like ever. And like there's like this aerial shot that makes the party look like it was further away from where they were standing. It's like, it was like right behind them. What took so long? And then of course CGI in this movie. You got the CGI head twist apparently. It might be CGI, it might be real. Looks fake to me. Bloop.
Invite only, corn poke, and you weren't invited. Son of a bitch.
That scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. When I saw this movie, like at 8, 9 years old, that head twist, that is an image that will stick with you. I like how Will and Mark, they get saved by the bell. I thought that was funny. I know, it's nothing. It's not, it's just a little thing. I was like, ha, they got saved by the bell. Literally. Saved by the bell. I love when Jason like takes Freddy's kill and Freddy just gets pissed off. It was just hilarious. Reminds me of all my days playing Call of Duty. Someone steals your kill. I feel Freddy's pain. It sucks when someone steals your kill. And then there's like a moment where like Jason, when he's like slashing away at everybody, he clearly misses somebody. He hits the keg and then that person has a slash on their chest and they're like, blood spraying. It's like, dude, you clearly missed him and he's still hurt. Give me a break. Like, they just... Why? They could have reshot it, edited it better. One of my favorite lines in this movie by Freddy is, the only thing to fear is fear himself. Great line. It's probably the best one in the whole franchise, in my opinion. It's just a little technical thing. It's like, they've Will and Mark, they've been at this sanitarium for like 4 years. So, and they're like 17, 18 years old, which means they were gone at like the age of 13, and they're driving a van, and they're pretty good at driving for people who never took driving lessons. Like, remember the first time you got in a car? It was pretty crazy. Stop, go, stop, go, stop. It's pretty hard to drive, but these kids, they know how to drive for people who never took lessons. I find that very interesting, that they could be locked up for 4 years to get out and then start driving a van like they've been driving all their life. Not to mention, these actors, they do not look like they're supposed to be in high school. But I do not believe a single one of them are under the age of 26. They all look old. We also see the cop from White Chicks. The White Chicks, and then he's like a little man. And Scary Movie, those parody movies. It's weird to see him in this movie knowing that right around that time he started doing like comedy. All these comedies and spoofs, and he's in Freddy vs. Jason. It's weird knowing his career and then seeing him in this movie. And he's not that character at all. And his purpose in this movie really is just, well, one, he's there the night Trent gets killed, blah, blah, blah. But his real point in this movie is just to tell them about Jason, like his story. Yeah, Jason drowned as a kid in this camp. And yeah, so did his mom. And the legend is that he comes back and he kills kids at Crystal Lake. Anyone who steps foot there. And then that's his story. That's it. That's all his purpose. He's dead. Like, the next scene, he's dead. One interesting thing that Freddy does in this movie that nobody talks about is that Freddy now has possession power. He possesses Freddy. Freeburg, that's his name. Freddy possesses Freeburg, enters his mouth, and it's like, really? When did he get that power? I thought that was weird. And then he starts talking, Freeburg is talking like Freddy, and he calls Jason Redder a bitch, which I absolutely enjoy, because at that moment in the movie, his acting was pissing me off. That when he got called a bitch, I was like, yes!
Let me handle this, bitch.
What? You are a bitch, and your acting sucks. Keep cussing him out, Freeburg. He deserves it. And then, yeah, one thing I pointed out earlier without Jason's heart beating, this is another moment where I'm like, bullshit. Because Freddy, Freeburg, tranquilizes Jason, and it knocks him out. Which means that Jason is human in some way. He has a bloodstream, so the tranquilizer puts him under. And I understand the necessity, plot-wise, because he needs to fall asleep so we can have this major battle, Freddy versus Jason in Freddy's turf, in his world. And I like it. But I guess there was no way around it. But it still just makes you shake your head like, no! How can tranquilizers work, but electricity doesn't? Jason can't get electrocuted, but he can be tranquilized. It's bullshit. But anyways, then we get this awesome battle between Freddy and Jason in Freddy's world. And I like how at first Freddy's like fucking with Jason, pretending like everything's hurting him. He gets both his arms cut off. And he's screaming. But then it's all just like a joke. And Jason, we get to see Jason confused because he's not used to it. Like, what the fuck? I chopped both your arms off and now they're back. It's just like, yeah, you're fucked, Jason. You're in his world. And another thing this movie does that pisses me off, because it makes no sense. Jason being afraid of water. I could show you a whole montage of times where Jason was in water. In parts 3 or in 4 and 6, 7, like in 8. In 8 especially. Dude, he was in the ocean and then went all the way to New York. Don't tell me he's afraid of water. Jesus. And then he turns into a little boy in the dream. I understand the dream world, so it makes more sense. Rather than part 8 when he turns into a child. It's just, ugh. But yeah, whatever. It's just, him being afraid of water is bullshit. Especially when later in this movie, he's in water. You're making Jason, this tall, intimidating guy, afraid of water? So if somebody just walked up and threw water on him, would he be afraid? That one guy at the rave party was throwing beer at him. He didn't go, oh, oh. No, he was just like, fuck you. It's like, he's not afraid of water. It's bullshit. I hate that. I hate when they do little things that wrong. They do so many things great, then when they do something wrong, it just pisses you off more. Because you're like, man, you had it. You were doing good, and you just insert that stupid shit. It pisses me off. Strong words, but it irritates me. So yeah, Jason afraid of water. Nope. We get to see the death of Jason in this movie. We get this like flashback at Crystal Lake in like 1954. get a couple of 50s cars driving by for continuity to make it look like it was the 50s. So I like that. We didn't actually get to see this in any of the Friday movies. We just kind of, in the first movie, you see like an image of Jason drowning, but that's it. We get to get a little bit more of him being bullied, and we actually get to see the counselors doing nothing. They're having sex. So I like that addition in this movie. Okay, so then the group, they're driving Jason in the van, and Laurie's asleep at the back of the van too. She's trying to get Freddy and bring him into the real world like the first Nightmare on Elm Street. And they crash the van. Jason flies out, but Laurie doesn't, who was right next to him. They were both not tied down. And how does she not wake up? How tranked can you be that a car crash doesn't wake you up? But fire does. Alright, yeah, whatever. Jason, despite how strong he is in this movie, he throws his machete into a table. He gets it stuck like an axe in wood. You can't get it out. Just another moment where I'm like, bullshit. He can get that thing out, because he's whacking people with his arm and they're flying 30 feet away and pulling beds in half, ripping people's arms off. You can't get your machete out of a wood table. Just why? That's stupid. We get a reoccurring line from Freddy when and I think it was part 4 when he said, "How sweet fresh meat." And this one he goes, "How sweet dark meat." Some people might say that's racist because he said it to a black person, but it was funny. Alright, just admit it. Don't be so fucking snowflakey. It's a joke! Jesus. But yeah, after that crash, like, Laurie's not even hurt. Like, she's hurt from her dream, but that car crash should have fucked her up pretty good. And she's okay. She wasn't buckled. Like I said, she was unconscious on the ground. And the van flipped over a couple of times. Just give me a break. She should have broke a bone or something. And she's running around the rest of the movie, spraying gasoline on the dock, and she's okay. She's not hurt. Lots of blood in this movie. Lots and lots of blood. That is a huge positive for this movie. This movie has gallons of blood. It's like too much, but I love it because of that. Just blood spraying everywhere. Just no complaints here. I love it. If you love Jason movies and Freddy movies, you can't complain about that. It was too much blood. That is a complaint that should not exist with horror fans. Too much blood, in my opinion. Did anybody else notice that Laurie had a tramp stamp? The tattoo right above her ass? You don't really pay attention. I was paying attention, but you don't really see it because she's like helping her friend out of the water, Will, but she's got like this tramp stamp. I don't even know what it is. It's a tattoo right above her ass. I thought that was interesting. And then she drops the weapon. It fits her name perfectly. She's Laurie. She's like Laurie in Halloween. She drops the machete into the water, gives it back to Freddy. Like, not Freddy. She gives it back to Jason. Why would you, I would keep it. It's like a memento. I would hang it on my wall. Like, the night I witnessed 2 mass murderers, one of them supernatural, both of them supernatural, fuck each other up. Like, I would put down a plaque, sell it later on. She drops it right in the water. What a fucking moron. That's evidence. It's evidence. Who are you gonna pin all these murders on now? I'm sure they're gonna, how are they gonna walk out of that with all their friends dead? Those the guys in the lake did it. Whatever. I like how this movie also has Jason fighting Freddy on his turf, like Crystal Lake. So this movie does both. It's like Freddy versus Jason in Freddy's world, and then Jason versus Freddy in Jason's world. I love how this movie did that. Makes perfect sense. And then this movie has a sequel hinted ending where Jason's like the victor holding his prize, the head of Freddy, even though he wasn't the one that decapitated him. Which a thing I'm thinking about right now is like, Freddy died like Jason's mother. So is he gonna be like a memento for Jason like his mom was in part 2? Just a little thought. But yeah, it's sad that we didn't get a sequel to this movie, especially when you hint at one like that and then we don't get one. It's never gonna happen now. I don't think Robert Englund is gonna come back. He's too old. But yeah, overall, I really enjoy this movie. This is my top 3 Freddy movies, and probably my top 7 out of the 12 Jason movies. There's a lot of good Jason movies. But yeah, this movie was shot well. The story was great. It made sense. We got a tall, intimidating Jason. A decent makeup on Freddy. Good lines from Freddy. Freddy was a good mix of humor and intimidation like part 3. So this is one of the better Freddy movies in my opinion. Great kills, lots of blood. The acting is hit and miss in certain people. The characters aren't that likable, but it doesn't take you out of it. It's a good movie, so therefore I gotta say when it comes to Freddy vs. Jason, this is a awesome slasher, so go out and buy it. The Mr. Hat Award is gonna go to Trent. That prick had it coming. He gets stabbed in the back like 17 times. I lost count. With the machete in the back, and then he gets folded up like a V. And then Mr. Twig Award will go to the rave party goer who got killed next to the cake. It's complete bullshit. He did not get hit by that machete. It's stupid the way they shot that. They need to go back and reshoot it and then re-release this movie because of it. And those are my thoughts on Freddy vs. Jason. What did I miss? Did I miss something? Let me know what you thought about this movie in the comments below. Who were you rooting for? I was rooting for Jason personally. You know that. I'm Team Jason right here. Let me know who you were rooting for, and if you think there should be a sequel. If there ever will be. I hope there will be. But anyways, let me know what you thought about this movie in the comments below, and support this video by clicking on this like button over here, and support this channel by clicking on my beautiful cartoon face in 5 seconds to see more. And until next time, auf Wiedersehen.